at Lambeth Parish Church, the Archbishop of Canterbury lives up to his reputation of being the fairy godfather to all his servants, by himself conducting the service when one of the palace housemaids, Miss Gould, marries police constable A.R. Harvey. Other palace servants are there in force, and the bride herself is well in the running for the title of today's happiest young lady. Even the wind is making whoopee. So Mr. and Mrs. Harvey share the honour with royalty of being married by the Primate of all England. They're on their way now to the wedding breakfast in the guardroom at Lambeth Palace, which on more formal but no less happy occasions is used as the Archbishop's banqueting hall. May the happy couple always have as much luck as they had on their wedding day. At Cambridge, 30 crews start on the 3-mile course in the first division of the Fairburn Cup race, the annual race for the head of the river on the Cam. Best time this year is made by First Jesus, with a time of 16 minutes 43 seconds. Manchester is planning for the future, when at Ringway, just outside the city, the Lord Mayor arrives, complete with chain of office, officially to start the work on the city's great new airport, which will cost nearly £200,000. The Lord Mayor cuts the first sod, and so starts the work of clearing, levelling, draining, and building on the 664 acres of land, which in 2 years from now will give Manchester what will probably be the largest aerodrome in England. At Eton College, they celebrate St Andrew's Day in the time-honoured way with the annual match of the famous wall game between collegers and oppidans. The main feature of the game appears to be that the rules are so complicated that no one apart from the players knows what's happening. In fact, there is a rumour that even the players don't know, but of course they won't admit that. The stout fellows dressed for Arctic exploration are called walls, and their job appears to be to act as cushions between the wall and the tough gentlemen in knee breeches called seconds. There are also bullies, they all seem to be that, and flies. The fly's job is to tell the other players exactly where the ball is, because most of the time nobody knows. One rule says that you mustn't kick, but you can push just as hard as you darn well like. Hi, leave go my breeches. He seems to be digging himself in. The amusing part of the game is that they've been playing it for 95 years, not this particular one. And during that time only 3 goals have been scored. The last one was in 1909, but still they go on. All over the country, teams are lining up for the first round of the Football Association Cup. In Somerset, Yeovil and Petters meet Newport Isle of Wight. Last year, the men from Somerset, who after all are only a small country club, did so well they reached the 3rd round, and it took a first-class team like Liverpool to knock them out. This year, somehow, they don't make up their mind. Shall I kick the ball? Yes. No? Yes? No? Yes. OK. This year, Yeovil won't have to worry about that cup, because the Isle of Wight men win this match by 1 goal to 0. And that, said John, is that. In the United States, winter storms and wind-whipped seas lash the Atlantic coast from the Carolinas to the Massachusetts. But it takes more than a hurricane to stop the Pathy newsplane from weathering the gale to get these pictures of the raging seas. The Coast Guard has his hands full, rescuing ships from the gale's fury and towing them ashore after steering gear had been smashed by the great waves. Beach resorts bear the brunt of the storm, and the damage runs into thousands of pounds.